Each of us has our own unique background and story of how we became a part of Chiefs Kingdom.
Our reach is far and wide, with fans all over the world cheering on our Kansas City Chiefs.
Everyone donning the red and gold has figuratively signed that mutual agreement and come together for one common purpose.
For 76,000 of us at a time, to descend upon Arrowhead, man our stations, let out our loudest battle cry to the tune of 142.2 decibels, and make that stadium rock until our opponents beg for mercy.
We are unrelenting in our pride for this city, these players, and this team. This is the show for the Allies, Arrowhead Allies.
What's up, guys? How was your week? Mine stunk. Let's get started. No, this is it, Arrowhead Allies. And I'm telling you, I don't know, those that are joining the stream right now, if we've ever had more to talk to after playing a one-win football team and in a few days that have happened since than we do right here. So welcome, buckle up, get in for it. Noah's wearing his Chiefs Santa hat. It's just a couple days past his birthday. He's now my age. He's 38, just like me.
Oh, happy birthday.
And rolling
Yes.
with Brian B. Shine, Shaggy Shane Williams, and our buddy the Money Badger's coming in just a few moments, guys. How's everybody doing?
I'm good. What do you say, B?
Oh, man, look, God woke us up for another day to walk in his purpose. My wife is healthy and happy. I'm texting my mama, too, at the same time. So as long as those two are good, everything is good.
Amen.
And Shaggy Shane is back. James T. Kirk, don't worry. You won't have to stare at our average-looking mugs this whole time. James, you've got your guy. Shaggy Shane is back in the fold today.
What's going on, guys, man? Well, let's get right to the game. I don't know if Clint or Noah, if you have anything you want to say first, or if you want to turn it over to Brian
Take it.
and I.
Give us something. Let's go.
Open it up, Shaggy.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Kansas City Chiefs freaks worldwide of all ages. Sunday, your 10-3 Kansas City Chiefs went to Houston to face the 1-11-1 Houston Texans. Texans came to the game starting two quarterbacks because both quarterbacks are really very good. But let's be honest, guys. The Chiefs came out a little flat on offense, and there's a bigger story involved with this game that I'm going to speak on right here and now. Carl Sheffers. I'm not a conspiracy guy. When somebody tries to tell me, hey, man, I got this conspiracy about COVID, nah, I'm not listening. I don't need to hear go to some rank website to hear somebody tell me about their vaccine and anti-vaccine. I'm not listening. If somebody wants to say that Trump was rigged in the election, I'm not going to listen. I don't need to go to some rank website to see that. People have been saying a long time that Carl Sheffers has got this issue with the Chiefs. And you know what? I tune it out. When I hear stuff about that, I'm like, I don't want to hear it. You just got to be better than the referees. But something happened that made me really, despite conspiracy theories, whatnot, it opened eyes of not just Chiefs fans worldwide. Let's get right to it. With the second half, when Frank Clark was offsides, the Chiefs made a stop on 3rd and 2. Frank Clark was offsides. The next 4 third down conversions were they threw a flag, 2 defensive holding and 2 pass interferences. When the Texans were facing 3rd and goal to 12, I was with Clay Windler at Red Tribe Cinema Studios, and we sat there and we said to each other, I said, what, defensive holding or pass interference? They're going to throw the flag if they don't pick this up. And they got the touchdown, plus they called defensive holding. The Chiefs did not all of a sudden on 3rd downs in the second half, when the Texans got their only touchdown, decide to be undisciplined. On 3rd downs, the Chiefs got undisciplined. There's a stat that I don't have before me, but I'm sure you guys do, that we heard Monday talk specifically about how many flags have been thrown on the Chiefs by Carl Sheffers in the last 15 years compared to everybody else.
Go.
There you
Producer.
go. Right on cue. Thank you, Noah. So there's this problem where this guy and his entire crew continues to throw flags on the Kansas City Chiefs, where I don't know if people say, well, it's because of Vegas. I don't know if it's Vegas, and I'm not going to delve into that conspiracy, but it's definitely entertainment. They're definitely doing it for laughs. In the last 15 years, if you're looking at the screen, there's definitely a scenario that adds to this comical this strange format to where he's obviously doing this to the Kansas City Chiefs. And I mentioned on the Patrick Mahomes fan page that you guys run so wonderfully. How do you guys feel about this? And I have over 1,000 shares that Clark Hunt needs to step up and address this to the media, to where this bias from Sheffers and his crew in the last 15 years is we're tired of it. And it needs to be addressed, and I know people might be saying, hold on, Shaggy. Raiders fans would come out and say, we get screwed all the time. Well, they're the Raiders. But
they do say that.
I know it needs to be looked at. It needs to be looked at and spoken from, in my opinion, from Clark Hunt, because he carries the clout. He carries the respect heard nationwide, not just from NFL fans, but NFL executives. The NFL world listens to Clark Hunt, that this bias needs to be addressed. And I feel if Clark Hunt says it and comes out and speaks it, people would take heed to it. Because if Andy Reid says it, he'll get a fine. If Patrick Mahomes says it, he'll get a fine. It needs to be addressed by Clark Hunt. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. What do you say, Brian?
I got a lot of thoughts. I think that, first, I didn't know that he refereed Super Bowl 55, which makes it even worse. Like
when Tyrann Mathieu had that interception, there was some penalty and it was called back, and
we completely unfolded after that.
Yeah.
But be that as it may, you can forget about Clark Hunt speaking out about this, Shaggy. I like your points as we bring our brother Michael on. Arrowhead Allies, good to see you, my brother.
Yes, sir. What's up, guys?
But look, man, Clark Hunt is, as you said, at the forefront of the business of the NFL. Like, he's on like the financial committee or something like that. And so they're them talking about officiating publicly, it's gonna be the last thing they do. First off, gambling. They're not trying to lose that money or put that money in jeopardy or whatever with that. Because the moment that one of the heads of the NFL says something about the refs actually being a problem or issue, everything is just going to unfold. Everything is going to be questionable. The Super Bowl is going to be questionable for the year. All these stupid conspiracy theories that you were relating to earlier is going to come out. It's just going to be a big mess. So you can forget about Clark Hunt. And then look what Clark Hunt doesn't talk. He doesn't talk about very much anything. And that's purposely done. So when he does say something, he wants a spotlight on it. Like when he had to come out and talk about the stadiums, he had to say something about that. This past weekend, he did a press conference after the game because we won the division. And so whenever he says something, people are going to remember it, and it's going to be headlines all over the place in Kansas City. And with this officiating, they're football guys. They see it. They're fans of the teams. Clark Hunt is pissed off as much as you or any of us is in Chiefs Kingdom. He's a part of Chiefs Kingdom. And so for him, look, he's not going to say anything. These guys see what's going on. They know the officiating is bad. And so, but they got to do something about it, though. In the offseason, of course, it's going to be, one of those things on the table again. Do they get full-time refs? Do they need to invest more money in it? Do they need a sky judge? As, Mike Florio likes to say all the time, have a sky judge. These guys are refs. They can't see everything. I think, they do an okay job, but they can't see everything. And to have a sky judge that can, determine, certain calls that need to be determined, that need to be discussed more. And I think they're halfway doing that now with, when they make calls to New York and they see something obliviously wrong. They see something just completely out of the ordinary. They make that call to New York and they make an adjustment. But you can forget about Clark Hunt saying something about this.
Welcome.
Well, speaking of stupid conspiracy theories and this Carl Sheffers thing, and Brian, you mentioned he reffed Super Bowl 55. He reffed the playoff game with Alex Smith and the Chiefs against the Steelers, where Eric Fisher was called for a holding. We saw him in the Raiders game at Arrowhead earlier this season, where he lost his voice.
Didn't he do the Titans game? The Titans playoff game? He didn't do that one?
Yeah,
No, that was Jeff
that
Guttlett.
was
Jeff Triplett.
And he
Jeff
retired
Triplett.
right after. He retired
Yeah.
the next day.
Okay.
Hey, so
Speaking
just
of this
to,
conspiracy theory, let's roll to the videotape to go back through the years of Carl Sheffers.
Take over the game and make it their own platform. There's nothing you can do about it. That wasn't a hold on my guy Eric Fisher, and sure enough, I hope 7-2 doesn't go the entire offseason thinking it was his fault. That was flat out. And from there, we'll go into the next season and try not to let it get in the refs' hands, but the other one's controlling the game.
This is the most bitter loss you've ever.
I mean, it sucks. This sucks. It was an unbelievable play call. Last drives, Alex just drove us down there, fourth down after fourth down, making plays. The momentum's getting on our side, and then just get our jugulars ripped out because ref felt bad for James Harrison falling on the ground. It's ignorance. The ref number 51 shouldn't even be able to wear a zebra jersey ever again. He shouldn't even be able to work a Foot Locker.
There's no foul on the play. They're blocking the back. Timeout.
Here's Dorsett in the middle of the field. They're going to get Thornhill with illegal contact past the 5 yards, but it looked like looks like Dorsett ran into him.
Looks like Dorsett ran into him, but the flag is on us, of course. Thanks, Carl.
Michael, is this the biggest storyline coming out of this? And welcome aboard, Michael Matthew, the Money Badger from LA, California. Is this, you kind of joined right in the middle of this, talking about Carl Sheffers, this crew. It's been struggling. Is this a big storyline coming out of this for you?
I think it is just the fact that you hope that you don't see him and his crew in the playoffs where the games really matter. But I do think sometimes these refs, I don't know how, but they do have grudges. I remember hearing a story taking it to the NBA with Tim Donahue where he had an issue. Iverson talked about a story where he got into it with him during a game, and they told Iverson, "We'll see you next time." And the next game that they refed against Iverson, he wasn't getting any calls, and his team was getting a lot of ticky tacks, and Iverson had to talk to him like, "So I hope it's just this game." So I don't know what has occurred when it comes to Carl Sheffers and his crew, but it's terrible, man. Just going back to that Super Bowl, I just saw a post that I had during that time where I'm like, don't talk to me for a week because the Bucs in the NFL defeated the Chiefs, and it's just him again. So you just got to hope that we can kind of avoid him because it's crazy that this happens. But if you think about the game on Sunday, the Chiefs dominate if the penalty margin wasn't so huge, That's so many yards. Like if you look at the time of possession, the yards the Chiefs had, that gave them such an advantage to make the game what it was that you can't have officiating be dictating the game like that unless it just looks terribly bad, like the Thornhill play. It's like, come on, man. I have never reffed a football game, and I can tell you that's not a penalty there. So it has to be fixed before it costs somebody a big-time playoff game, and you're going to have fans going crazy all summer long. So they have to fix it.
Yeah, we have a tough road ahead, whether we have Carl Sheffers or not, whether it's the Chargers or Dolphins and then the Bengals and possibly the Bills. I mean, that's a tough road, and you don't need refs interfering and putting their biases or grudges in there. But everyone knows that Clint and I here at Starcade Media, we like to be positive. So let's go to the positives. We've been harping on the refs and the negative, and this game was kind of just, at least we got the W. It's about the alphabet, like Brian and Eric Bieniemy like to say. We did get the W, but the positive here, Patrick Mahomes is one of only 5 players in NFL history to record 4 more seasons with 35-plus touchdown passes. He joins Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers, who have 6, and then Drew Brees and Peyton Manning also have 4. But Mahomes has played 5 seasons as a starter and achieved this 4 times already. So that's just an amazing stat for him. He's on pace. He was on pace to break the record. He's falling a little short now of pass yards. Peyton Manning has 5,477 yards. Mahomes is on pace for 5,459 and 43 touchdowns right now. So he's falling a little bit short, but we got 3 games left, and hopefully he can get a little bit more than his average and get that record. So guys, what did you think of Patrick Mahomes? Guys, people that have thrown at least 40 passes. He has the highest completion percentage in NFL history. Brian, I see you shaking your head there at his greatness. So take it, my friend.
Oh man, he was sensational. He was what he was against Denver without the picks. And this like and God, look, man, the guy only had what 5 incompletions?
36 and 41. Yeah.
And he ended it on what 20 straight completions, right?
20 straight.
Like he was on his A game. And I can't say enough about his weapons are coming through. They came through for the most part. There were times where there were some disappointments, but with that being said, no, that wasn't it. That was Patrick's fault. That let's be clear. I thought he ran the right route. Patrick didn't throw it right. All right,
he was right there to catch it. He like had his hands awkward. He tried to like clamp the ball. Like it was.
I thought you were talking about on one of the like. It was a route where Justin Watson
that was MVS early. If you
went wide, like he went up a little bit more. He took his
one. Yeah.
That I was talking about the one from out of the end zone across his body. 50 yards downfield.
Okay.
Watson's got a 99-yard touchdown.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. The one where he was going right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, look. Yeah. That it should have been only 4 incompletions. But Patrick Mahomes, what can you say? He was in MVP form. And he jumped right back into the race because
now with Jalen Hurts injured, possibly sitting out a game or two.
Yeah, and he had 2 interceptions against the Bears.
Yeah.
So that's what we expected from Patrick, though. You take a look at the tape last week. We said we're looking forward to Patrick Mahomes having a damn near flawless game, and he brought his A game to the Texans, which makes those calls and the penalties and the turnovers that much more devastating, because if the Chiefs don't turn the ball over, it is a completely different ball game. That's why those little things matter. But Patrick, he's the truck, not the wagon. He drags everybody with him, and he made it happen because he's that great. He's that guy.
And I think this game really proves it. I don't understand where this whole Jalen Hurts. I know that, he's balling, he's playing way better than what we all expected. But people forget, when you look at these MVP awards in every sport, it's about narrative and things like that. Yeah. The narrative coming in was the Chiefs were going to take a step back, that they missed Tyreek Hill, that they wouldn't be the same. And this guy is like, who cares about Tyreek Hill? I am Patrick Mahomes. We're going to be, I know you care. But you're like, this guy, he's just proving all of the haters wrong. It's like, there's no way that you can hate on what he's doing. He is balling out of control with and without McCole Hardman, with just coming back. Like, he is finding a way to do it. Like, literally, he's Kobe Bryant in 2007, 2008, carrying a terrible Lakers team to the playoffs, but he's doing it at the highest level, which the Chiefs have a chance to be the top seed. I think that he is easily the MVP, especially with the numbers that he's most likely going to end up with. The guy is amazing, man. Think about all the stuff we come in here week in and week out and talk on the show about the blocking not being great. Who's going to step up at wide receiver? And he's still winning games and putting up these types of numbers. I think that, man, Patrick Mahomes is that guy. And if you don't like him as your MVP this year, you just clearly have something against him, and you're deciding to choose Jalen Hurts because maybe to you that story makes more sense to you. It's kind of like Kobe losing MVPs to Steve Nash. You know who the best player is?
My God.
That man deserves to get that MVP award.
Gosh, Michael, that's great stuff. Shane, I want to go to you on this because 2 weeks ago on this very show, I said, if you guys remember the old Texas football coach Darryl Royal, he once said this about passing the football, the forward pass. He said, I don't like passing the ball because there's only 3 things that can happen, and 2 of them are bad. Well, I said 2 weeks ago, there's only 5 games left, and there's nothing that can happen except the bad. Now, we've weathered 2 games of, call it what it is, a subpar effort, teams playing up and trying to get their Super Bowl out of the way and try to upset the Chiefs. Shane, where are we at on these last 2 games and kind of what it means heading down the stretch here? The Bills get a big win. Other teams are struggling, guys. The Bills and Dolphins game could have went either way. The Bengals no-showed against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and came out in the second half, got a win. We did, the Chiefs didn't really get any help last week, but not everyone's out there scorched earth on this thing, Shane. So are we ready to, as a rocket ship drifts off into space, they have that little section that kind of falls off and you forget about it? Is that what we're doing with these last 2 Chiefs efforts?
specifically to the Bills, they're giving up. They're getting gashed. They are getting gashed on the ground because, correct me if I'm wrong, Mostert's not their starting running back. Am I right? What did he go to Miami to compete with Wilson, or did?
Yeah, Jeff Wilson was out, so Mostert.
Okay, Mostert shredded them. So the Bills got a problem, and they lost Von Miller. But they're going to Chicago, where it's going to be bitter cold. I think Chicago is just going to run the football. I'm not going to predict a Bears victory, but I think the Bears, if they run the football, they should be able to hang with Buffalo, or at least I wouldn't be surprised if they did. But then they got to go to Cincinnati. The Chiefs and Seahawks game, and which we'll expand on, and I got a lot I want to say about that. And I'll say it now. I'm not going to tease you guys.
Just do it, buddy.
Here we go. The Chiefs this Saturday at noon. Never had a chance. The Chiefs have never had a chance this season to get acclimated to the winter. We played in Denver 9 days ago. It was 60 degrees. We didn't get, I went to 4 games last year late in the season, and we kind of saw 50s come in the 40s and come in the 30s when the Chiefs played those slew of games in November into December. The Chiefs are going from 60 degrees in Denver to a dome to 0 wind chill on Saturday. I know you may think, well, that shouldn't affect the Chiefs players because they played in the cold before. Not the 7 defenders. These 7 defenders, that rookies on defense, they're going to be out there playing in the bitter cold NFL football. Nobody has brought that up specifically. That scares me. I believe in Joshua Williams, Trent McDuffie, and Jalen Watson, but they're going to have to go up against DK Metcalf, one of them, and they're going to be bitter freaking cold. The coaching staff, I don't know what they're going to do to get these rookies acclimated to this bitter cold that they're going to see, but it is important to me how I have seen teams trend as the seasons change. It's going to be culture shock for the Chiefs and these rookies on defense to go from playing 60-degree weather to 0. That's scary going into this Saturday, guys. That is really a concern that nobody is talking about. After we get past the Seahawks, we got Denver and the Raiders. We should win. But this game is going to be a big test. Mm-hmm. What do you think, Brian?
I can see why you're concerned, but I think these guys sign up for this type of stuff. And I don't think this is their first winter. Just go out and play. I know it. I'm simplifying it, and all your points, they're valid. But I think when it comes down to it, your adrenaline kicks in, that paycheck, you start thinking about that, right? And you start thinking about a championship run too. And you got Patrick Mahomes. So he's not going to allow that, period. By the way, shout out to Smush Parker and Kwame Brown for that 2007 Lakers reference. You know what I'm saying? We had to get him up out of there and get Pau Gasol.
We got a few Kwame Browns on this roster, man. So
yikes.
Making it happen. And just to let you know, as long as Pack can spin it in the cold weather, we're good. We're gonna be
right. Right. And then by the way, to jump back on the MVP thing real quick, whenever Andy Reid comes out and says something about Patrick Mahomes being MVP, he's trying to send a message. All right. So and he in the gambling terms, he's now negative 150 instead of plus 150. Him and Jalen Hurts switch for all your gamblers out there. But anywho, look, man, I'm not concerned about that. And I told y'all last week too about these games. Y'all laughed at me with my 21-20 prediction. All of you, Shane, include you. You weren't even here, but you laughed too. I know you did.
I was trying to get Shane a tie. We almost got his tie.
Right, we almost did. But look, no, seriously, this is the National Football League.
I won't hear it. I won't let you say it again, Brian. I won't do it.
You got to. It's real. What are the Cowboys saying? The Cowboys are a Super Bowl contender.
The Cowboys are falling apart down the end of the season.
They played the Eagles close. The Texans played close. They did. They like all of the everybody who's a contender who's played the Texans have had a tough time with them guys. And the Chiefs were messing around and turning the ball. You cannot turn the ball over. I don't give a damn if you're playing the 1996 Jets. I don't care if you're playing the let's throw a Chiefs team out there. Let's do 2012 Chiefs.
2012,
I don't.
My favorite team ever.
The 2002 defense that the Chiefs had. I don't care who you throw out there. Okay, this is the National Football League, and those guys got something to play for too. And if you turn the ball over against those guys, you're going to give them a chance, and you might lose. It just so happens
forward
that
progress is called. Do you really turn the football over?
No.
Yeah, I mean, and then you got the refs in
triplet.
it too.
You can't. Yeah,
you got the refs in it too. So you got the refs, you got turnovers, and you got other factors that play into this too. But those are the two biggest ones. And you, I don't care. Look, the worst teams always got a chance in the league when you give them a chance.
Mm-hmm. Hey, any given Sunday, great movie. Jamie Foxx and them did their thing, and it's 100% real, man. Any given Sunday, if you don't come out and take care of business, you give any team an opportunity to come out and beat you. And when you have the refs making bad calls, you can't turn the football over to give that team a chance. And that's why, I didn't expect the Texans to just be destroyed. I thought the Chiefs would do their part, but I should have looked at the refs. I didn't know it was Carl and his crew. And then, the Chiefs have to fix this turnover issue. Like, it's really scary right now. What is it, 8-9 consecutive games with a turnover? Like, we can't play to beat Cincinnati and to beat Buffalo. Damn it, to beat the Chargers again if we see them. We're not going to be able to turn the ball over the way that we're doing it, especially with the lack of playmaking we have in the secondary to get the ball back. The Chiefs really have to get that together if they want to make some noise come postseason time.
Well, long ago, Peyton Manning talked about his idiot kicker getting liquored up and running his mouth. Maybe that happened with an ex-punter here in Kansas City because we got Dustin Colquitt coming out. He's an exceptional punter, talking about Tommy Townsend. If you look back at the holds on the extra point, the laces are facing the sidelines. And on the missed 50-plus yarder, he pulled the ball to him at the last second and forced the ball to go to the right. He's been missing the spot all year. Here's the extra points you see made with the laces facing out and missed with the laces facing the sideline. So maybe he's got a little something. Tommy Townsend's come out and said, hey, Andy Reid's told us we don't talk about anybody who's saying stuff outside the building. We stay inside. We focus on what's going on inside the locker room. Harrison Butker said, Tommy's been doing a fine job. It's up to me. You see guys kicking the laces and still making it. I got to go out there and make the kick no matter what's going on with the hold. So that's what's going on there,
that?
Brian. Yeah.
What's wrong with that? That is a fair criticism from one of the best punter in Chiefs history.
Louis Aguiar's on line one.
Oh Lord!
Brian Barker. No one forgot. No one remembers me.
Brian Barker.
It's Dustin. Stop playing.
Crazy. Jarrell Wilson. Just bring him up.
I'll say this. I think if that was Dustin Colquitt's only point, it wouldn't have been bad. But he did something that was un-Dustin Colquitt-like. He continued to go back and forth with people on Twitter. He even threw in DS. He was calling him a dip snot. Let's keep it PG-13. And that's not Dustin Colquitt to keep going at Chiefs fans who were disagreeing with him. I interviewed Dustin Colquitt when I worked for Warping Illustrated. I'm not a media guy, but I did have interviews with him, and he was really nice and stand up. For him to kind of call people a DS, and then today, evidently on 810, I have not heard Dustin Colquitt on 810. He referred to Tommy Townsend as being a smart aleck. That's not like Dustin Colquitt. So it's shocking to see him in this manner because it's not like Dustin Colquitt to be this way, to call Tommy Townsend a smart aleck and to go after Chiefs fans who were going after him. I would think it'd be better if Dustin Colquitt just laid it out there and stepped back, not like kind of go back with Mark Boerichter and Petro. It was odd because Dustin Colquitt isn't that guy. What do you think, Clint?
Yeah, Noah and I were talking about this, and I think some of this could play a role. It could play a factor. There's a lot of things here. Harrison Butker got hurt week 1, and he was talking about his approach and these different steps he's taking. Tommy Townsend, guys, this isn't year 1. This is 3 years of Tommy Townsend, and this is the first year that we're having these kind of issues. Now, the extra points have kind of always been an issue. I'm not in there. I'm not an NFL kicker, nor am I a holder. But we know that the special teams is not very special right now for the Kansas City Chiefs all around. Noah, we kind of talked about it. We kind of agreed
issues at every level on every phase of this game, offense, defense, special teams. There's an issue somewhere.
Well, in this one specifically, though, we kind of agreed that this holding situation, maybe there's an issue, maybe there's a factor. I'm sure there's people out there wanting us to make some kind of a Ray Finkel, Ace Ventura reference right now. We're going to be above it. No, we're going to be above it, and we're not going to do it. But no, we kind of settled on maybe there's a factor there, but it's not the whole reason.
I think Dustin is just standing up for his guy, Harrison Butker. He's getting everybody
very close. They are very close.
Twitter was like, "Hey, we need to get rid of him ASAP. We need a new kicker. Somebody has to replace this guy who has been one of the best kickers, of his era." And I think that Dustin he's just trying to stand up for him. But I saw a few people like online who was saying that another issue could be the long snapper not getting the ball placed to where Tommy Townsend needs it so that he can get, the laces out where they need to be. So we don't know what's going on. We're not special teams coordinators or anything like that. But Dave, you are. So you need to figure this thing out.
Masquerade just won.
If Kendall Gammon starts calling out Winchester, we're in trouble.
I'm waiting.
The DVD snap right. So
I'm waiting for Ed Perry's response. I want to know what Ed Perry thinks about it.
Man,
look,
look,
you might have to put Travis back there, put him at long snapper, see if he can do that great.
Yeah. All kicking is so advanced now. It's so mechanically inclined. Like back in the day, you just grab it, hold it, bow. You just kick it. But now there's actual science and technique, a lot more technique behind it now because of the analytics and all this stuff. That's why I think in part because of stronger legs and because of the analytics of the game and them judging wind and all this other stuff, they got all this information. That's why guys are constantly hitting 50-yarders now. Yeah. 50 is the new 40 in field goal terms, and 60 is the new 50. Mm-hmm. But be that as it may, man, I think this all boils down to coaching. And Dave has been coaching like a little. Okay.
There's your Ace Ventura reference we were waiting for.
There you go. I'm sorry I wasn't above that one. Couldn't help myself. But look, man, we've been talking about it all year. Dave Taub has been an issue.
Yes.
Complete issue. And that comes down to coaching to me, in my opinion. It comes down to working with your guys, seeing the tape, constantly seeing what's going on, and it hasn't gotten fixed yet. Now, is Butker still a little hurt? Maybe that's an issue.
His new approach,
the holding, the new approach, the long snapper, all of that stuff. It boils down to Dave Taub tightening the screws. We got 3 games left in the regular season and a possible wild card matchup. They have got to get this thing straightened out.
My biggest fear is now that it's in Tommy Townsend's head, what if Harrison Butker's lined up for a game-winning 30-yard field goal and the Chiefs are trailing by 2 and Tommy Townsend gets the snap and drops it or something stupid? I mean, now we got to worry about that. That's why I was kind of upset with Dustin Colquitt. Make your point and go. Don't get on there and say, yeah, Tommy Townsend's a smart aleck, and then go doing this with Chiefs fans, because now it creates more of uncertainty that that Tommy Townsend's going to be thinking about, since he addressed it by tweeting Monday morning. Andy Reid tells me to listen to what's going on in the office, and I will continue to listen to what's going on in the locker room. So it's kind of like, man, we don't need this doubt when it comes to a game-winning kick from here on out. And I don't want doubt in Tommy Townsend's head when it comes to getting a snap. I need Dustin Colquitt to encourage him and being positive, not negative.
Yeah, especially if we have a wild card matchup against the Miami Dolphins and Tyreek Hill. That's what it's lined up as right now in the current playoff picture. Buffalo, the 1 seed. Hopefully they can lose to the Bengals, and we can take that back if we keep our winning ways by the narrowest of margins, but still winning ways. We've got Baltimore at Tennessee, the Chargers at the Bengals. And yes, Tyreek Hill will be coming back to Kansas City if this holds true. Hopefully it doesn't. We want that 1 seed. But guys, what do we make of this playoff picture right here?
Ooh, I think the matchups look enticing.
Also, I will not be watching any of the NFC games if this holds true. Too many NFC East teams.
What?
Commanders, the Giants, the Cowboys. I'm out.
It is NFL playoff football, man. You only get 11 of these or 13 of them now?
Too many.
Come on, man. No.
So I got to watch Heineke and Daniel Jones. I'll pass.
You know what? My favorite matchup out of the entire playoff weekend, Chargers Bengals. Oh, that is delicious. Look at that, man. You got Burrow versus Herbert. That is delicious. That Baltimore-Tennessee matchup isn't as enticing as it was like maybe for the past couple years, but I would still definitely watch it. But it's just so many heavy hitters, like my brother Jared Brooks said, in the AFC. And yeah, get ready for Tyreek Hill to come to Kansas City. Like seriously, just prepare yourself for it, man. Prepare for the Chiefs to play whatever defense they need to, cover 2 shell, whatever. The blueprint is out to stop Tua. The Chargers did it, fam. They did it. You got to do what the Chargers did, which is take away that inside read, because Tua cannot throw to the boundaries. He can't do it in this cold, bitter, wind chill weather that we finna have in January. Come on, man.
We have the players to do that, though?
Man, yes, you do.
Hey, and then another thing I think we have to look at is the Ravens. Like, we don't know when Lamar is going to be back. So they're struggling without Lamar. And I know they have a matchup. You know, they have to play the Falcons, Steelers, and Cincinnati to finish the season. That if they lose 2 of those games, they can easily be the 7th seed, and Miami can move up. So they're a team that I'm watching. They're going to make the playoffs. But I wouldn't be surprised without a healthy Lamar Jackson or without him playing at all that we could see a Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes first round. I don't know how much we love that here, but I think it's something to look out. But the rest of the playoffs, it looks about what I think it is. But I do think the Chiefs end up number 1 because Cincinnati, Buffalo. I think that Cincinnati and the referees will go to Buffalo, and they're going to make it tough, you know.
Look at you, scared of the Dolphins, like Miss Jerry on Martin.
No, we don't fear the Dolphins.
Tuna, I don't need no damn tuna.
Hey, I fear Jalen Waddle more than Tyreek because I know the Chiefs are going to be ready. With a perfect scheme for Tyreek, but it's going to be Jalen going one-on-one.
They don't got no scheme for no Tyreek Hill.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
They did it against. To accomplish said scheme.
So you believe in Tua and Tyreek more than
I don't believe in Tua. No, that's going to be tough. The Tua part's going to be tough, but I believe in Tyreek.
What we talking about?
If he can get the ball in his hands, oh boy,
we got 4 weeks.
He's going to be open.
We got 4 weeks to see what happens. You know, I know I predicted a tie, and I know I predicted the Kansas City Chiefs to win the AFC Championship in Rich Stadium. And I guess I should stick to it. But I think the only way the Chiefs go to the Super Bowl is if they get home field advantage, guys. They can't.
We need the Bengals meeting the Bills in the second round.
My heart says no. The Chiefs can win anywhere as a 7th seed, but my mind's seeing the cracks. We got to get 2 home games. I love the defense and I love the potential. And by cracks, I'm not being negative. I'm just saying we're not getting the pass rush that we need to if we go on the road. We need home field advantage, and we'll cross this Tyreek Hill Chiefs 7 seed if and when it happens. But right now, I'm praying that we get that 1 seed because I don't want to face Buffalo and Cincinnati back to back.
Well, we're talking about being scared of people. I'm looking at that list there, the AFC, daunting as it is. Well, I'm scared of the Texans. So you're damn right. I'm scared of every single team on that list. I'm scared of the Seattle Seahawks and Geno Smith. The Broncos, not so much, although we've seen them. The Raiders, are you kidding? My nightmare scenario, guys, we haven't brought up is the Bengals beating the Bills and then the Chiefs having to go to Las Vegas to play in a freaking Super Bowl in Allegiant Stadium on January 8th, because that's coming, and that team's going to be freaking nasty.
And you know what? I want you to finish, Mikkel. I'm not going to cut you off. I want you to expand on it. Mm-hmm. I think that my prediction right now is the Chiefs will go to the Raiders, and they'll have to win that game to be the 1 seed. And if they lose, they'll be a 3rd seed. What do you think, Mikkel?
3rd seed? Yeah, it may move that way if Cincy take care of Buffalo.
Yep.
But man, that would be crazy. But I just don't, earlier I told you guys the Raiders might make a run, but after that Rams loss, look what it takes for them to beat the Patriots. So I just don't trust the Raiders and Josh McDaniel and those guys. I've kind of just thrown in the towel for them. That end of the season, if the Chiefs need the number 1 seed and they're playing against the Raiders, guess what? They're going to leave Vegas with the number 1 seed.
I'm scared of it.
Yeah, I can't be scared. Why are we scared?
Any given Sunday, guys. Come on, this is the NFL.
Yes, it is, bro. But still, come on, man.
Hey,
we have 15. Do we have Patrick Mahomes or do we not?
We don't know. I
We
guess.
do. It used
What
to
you
be
mean
enough
we
for me
don't
to
know?
not
You
be
just
scared of
saw the
anyone.
man
It's not
only had
anymore,
5
and I'm sad about it. I
incompletions
hate
this
it.
past weekend.
I mean, we don't know.
It's the
We can't say
turnovers.
we can't
Look-
say for sure that he's playing week.
And
18.
McKinnon,
Y'all got to look at it in a totality, dog. With those, okay, so look, Chiefs are up 27-0 against Denver. Without those turnovers, what do you think the score actually would have been?
44.
Seriously.
yeah.
Come on, man.
41-10.
All right, look. Texans game. Pacheco fumbles in the red zone. They go and score. That's a 28-point swing. With that
Mahomes
fumble,
ain't enough, B.
with
Caleb
that
Robinson
fumble and the
says it right
Juju fumble. Though that's 28 points. 14 goes their way, 14 doesn't go
it's
our
been
way.
not-
happening. I
It's
can't
a
say that
completely different.
if you don't
Yeah,
have
9
to.
straight
Okay,
games.
yes, it keeps
Hey.
happening. Okay, yeah, I agree. It keeps happening, and it's a problem. It's an issue. Just like special teams is a problem, and it's an issue. But guess what? We keep winning. We keep winning. Why do we keep winning? Because of 15. He is
Bengals
the difference
disagree.
maker. I'm saying, bro, a toss-up game, Noah. It is what it is, fam. But come
Hey.
playoff time, I think you're going to see Patrick Mahomes take it up another level, a
And
level that these guys don't have.
And then I hate to say this because I know Noah is going to be maybe a little disappointed, upset. 17 is on his way back.
Damn, you feel me?
He's
You
gonna-
feel me?
He's going to help special
Come
teams.
on, man.
Noah, get it
Playoff
ready.
time, He's going to be a special team.
Graphic it.
And he's our red zone guy that we can do a lot of trickeration with because of, Andy Reid's trust in him. So I think that he's another added element to the team that can help put the team over the top. So let's be patient. Aaron Rodgers said it best years ago. Relax. That's what we got to do right now, as long as we keep getting W's.
Frankie goes
You
to
mentioned
Hollywood.
Nicole.
Also,
We're going to go right now to something that we put together, a graphic that we put together of our top 5 weapons for the Chiefs outside of Kelsey and Juju. I think we can all agree those are the top 2. So after Kelsey and Juju is 1 and 2 as weapons for Mahomes and his Chiefs offense, who would you rank number 5 in importance moving forward? And let's go here. Let's just see what we have. Mine, I got Jerick McKinnon at number 1. He's come on like gangbusters. 2, Tony, the importance moving forward. Quick answers from Mahomes. If the offensive line is struggling, specifically the tackles, or Pacheco not picking up his blitz responsibility up the middle and looking back like, oh, wait, I was supposed to block someone. Oops, sorry, Patrick. I see you on the ground there. So I've got Pacheco at 3 because we don't run the ball enough and he's had some fumble issues. So I couldn't put him above Tony and his importance moving forward. MVS at 4. He doesn't get a lot of targets, but we can see he can create some big plays. He can make the plays that are out there for him. He's got the speed. And then Noah Gray, I think, is going to be someone that Mahomes is going to go to and rely on down the stretch. And yes, McCall has some jet sweeps and stuff, but I can't rely on him in the pass game. I don't know what's going on with this abdominal injury. And so I can't put him on the list for me. Clint?
yeah, I mean, you see, we have the exact same players, just in a different order. So, looking down the line here, who can you trust when it comes playoff time? And part of the reason McColl's not in mine is due to the injury and the several missed games now in a row, the IR, and for Tony, let's just face it. I mean, that's just personal bias and the potential, because Tony has a much higher ceiling than does a McCall Hardman, and we'll see as he gets more acclimated. Andy Reid said he's going to get more work and more reps here as we go forward. So look for that. Michael, now we get to go back to you just in time. A perfect segue to your top 5, which leads off with McCall the Jet Hardman.
Yeah,
You got the wrong Jet as number 1. He meant Jet McKinnon.
Oh, okay.
I think it has to be McCall. First of all, other than Kelsey, he is a guy who has played in big games with this offense and with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. I think the stuff, like I said before, in the red zone, even before he got injured or whatever occurred, he was balling out. He was starting to pick it up. He was getting touchdowns. He was looking like a legit threat.
1 yard jet sweep boss.
Yeah, and now we're going to get him back. I think he's going to have a bigger role in special teams because, we don't need him to be that every down wide receiver because we can use Sky. We can use Justin Watson. So that's why he's number 1. McKinnon is number 2. I wanted to switch it up and put Pacheco, but we know that Andy Reid likes to pass that ball. And he's going to make sure that McKinnon gets touches with the screen game. And, Pat is going to find him. And then he's going to run the ball. He did a great job in last year's playoffs. And then it's Pacheco, MVS. He might only get you 3 or 4 catches, but those 3 or 4 catches, it might be a touchdown. It might be a over-the-top play, and I think it's big. And then Noah Gray is number 5, because I just think that he's somebody that Andy and Pat is starting to trust more and more to make big time catches like he has done so far this season. So those are my 5 guys that come after, the top guys at top.
Brian.
Oh yeah, you see it. Macaroni McKinnon. I've been talking about him the past 2 years. He's always been one of the top threats that Mahomes has that I thought was underused personally. And you see the screen game coming along, and he needed to be used. We need McKinnon out there. He looks like Jamal Charles, in my opinion. To me, he's a slightly slower, shorter Jamal Charles, in my opinion. Pacheco, I put him in there because the run game is so important due to
Andy Reid.
It is. It's very important for Patrick Mahomes to be successful and for the offensive scoring to have balance. And Pacheco's running that thing, man. I wish he would have more carries, as you alluded to, Noah. I really do.
Yeah.
But you see, when he gets going, the Chiefs usually win the game. And, of course, McCole, he makes a difference in the red zone. Although the Chiefs have been more effective lately in the past couple games without Harmon, you'll see a difference in the offense when he comes back. I'm not even going to get into that with you, Noah, right now. MVS, he's picked it up as of late. He's having a better second half of the season. You see it, Caleb. You know it. McKinnon is one of my favorite players on Madden. Yes, he is. MVS has been coming up clutch the past month or so, fellas. It'll be a 3rd and long, or it'll be a 2nd and long in the red zone or something like that. And how about the dart that Patrick delivered MVS and that touchdown pass this past weekend?
Yeah.
Up against the clock before the second quarter ends.
Yeah, I saw MVS going to the ground. I'm like, oh, this is dropped. No way.
Yeah,
he made a great catch.
Made a great catch, man. And you know what? I got love and appreciation for Jody Fortson and the white Travis Kelce, Noah Gray, and all the other guys, all the Kadarius Toney. We have yet to see his potential shine, so I can't really put him on there yet.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm telling you, what's going to win the Chiefs playoff games is going to be Patrick Vick. I'm not talking about Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is the guy who we see throwing the ball. Patrick Vick is the one who's making these 3rd and longs turn into touchdowns. Patrick Vick is the guy who's extending drives. He has 313 rushing yards. He's averaging 6 yards per carry. All right. That's better than Jamal Charles.
We saw the Titans game coming up. I think it was 3rd and 17 or something big.
Yes. And he got up out of there. Yep. He has the legs to do it. All right. So as long as Patrick knows that, look, when guys are covered and maybe that check down isn't there and they're in man covers with no spy, and they blitz somebody, you're going to get up out of there. Turn the wheels on Patrick Vick, and he's been getting it done. And that's the secret key, in my opinion, to the success of Patrick Mahomes, is him being able to run the ball, not being able to just sit back and play coverage and sack him like Dan Marino.
Absolutely. And Shane, your top 5 offensive weapons after Kelce and Juju, that we have 1 and 2 already. I think we can agree on that. And we're over here having fights over Toney and Hardman. You said, forget both of them. They're not even on my list.
Yeah. And like you said, but this is for people that are just joining us. This is after Juju and Kelce. These are the 5 players after Juju and Kelce. McKinnon is he's the freaking spark of the offense. When he gets the ball in his hands, if there's any open field, he's going to get yards, consistent, quick yards. Pacheco's the good rookie. I like having him learn, and he's a good guy to have, and he's growing weekly. He's just above MBS on my list. MBS is still a weapon. He's had a great catch, contorted his body, made that catch in the corner of the end zone, which was impressive. And then Gray and Fortson. These guys, all 5 are important, but they're the 5 below Kelce and Juju. So if you look at the stat sheets and say, well, how many catches did Gray have in a crucial playoff game? And it may be like 2 for 15 yards or 2 for 6 yards. It may not look great, but he's still number 4 on my list. And Jody Fortson kind of goes in the same category with Gray. So these guys are important. They move the chains, and McKinnon is the spark that, when you think about it in the grand scheme of things, it's funny that he was brought back in July when it was just looked like he was just a missing piece. Well, now it looks like he was the obvious piece, but Those are my 5 guys after Kelsey and Juju.
And Fortson has kind of an injury here, Noah, we were talking about. So that could be
Blake Bell's being elevated. So
yeah, Blake Bell's not going to make my list no matter what.
Not even on those 4th and 1s.
Man, he did have that. Was it the Texans playoff game, right? 19. That guy got in the end zone. I've seen, maybe taking some snaps under center, moving the ball 1 inch. We need some short yardage. So welcome back, Blake Bell, the former Oklahoma Sooners quarterback.
Clint, would you rather a quarterback sneak or a tight end sneak or a fullback dive?
I'm done with the fullback dive. We've seen Burton and we've seen that blown up too many times now. I'm ready to yes, everybody, take a second. It's time. Take a deep breath. We're going to reacclimate the quarterback sneak. I'm ready for it. We want it. It's probably not going to happen this year.
You know what?
Patrick Mahomes will probably be 30 before we do that again. I'd say.
I was anti quarterback sneak after he got hurt. I really was. But now I think it is time we revisit it. And I think we do because Tom Brady got so many first downs with that quarterback sneak. And it's a way you can do it too, to where it's effective 90%, 99% of the time. And Tom Brady has figured that out. And I think it will really help out the Chiefs extend drives, keep the ball longer, not be so predictable, because now teams are keying on certain guys on those 3rd and shorts and 4th and shorts.
Yeah.
So I think it is time to add another, weapon to the tool belt and bring the quarterback sneak back.
Brian, I would agree with you if the referees, and not just Carl Sheffers and his crew, took some, I don't want to say sympathy to Patrick Mahomes, but Patrick Mahomes gets beat, thrown down consistently on a weekly basis, and the refs continue to look the other way. How many times does he get hit in the face? How many times does Patrick Mahomes get thrown down? The fear is if he jumps into a pile on 3rd inches for important first down, the refs will look the other way if somebody's down there freaking smashing his head up against the ground or something. It sucks to fear the referees not protecting Patrick Mahomes, but that's my paranoia as well. What do you think, Mikkel?
No, I think you have to use it. The new cheat code when it comes to 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, quarterback sneak, have your tight end run behind the quarterback. And
like the Eagles do. I was just finna point that out. Jalen Hurts do it every week. He has like 5 touchdowns on his running backs and tight ends, pushing them into the end zone.
Eventually, I think they're going to change that rule because it just looks too easy. Like, just get your quarterback there. High keeps getting somebody, shoving them over the lineman, and it can be an automatic first. So I think that you're going to see that maybe one time they're going to sneak it, which is a quarterback sneak. They're going to sneak it on a team, and it's going to work. But I think it's that time that we do it because everybody else is doing it. So why not jump on that train?
You need to go back first. Take it, go back first.
I'm good with that. Someone here, Caleb, has mentioned this guy named CEH coming off of IR. I don't know who he's talking about. I don't know who that is.
We good.
I'm sorry, Caleb. I just don't have the knowledge. I don't have the insight. I don't know who you're talking about, this CEH character. I can't speak to it. I don't know. He's not a human, so no.
The Clyde might be,
he might be a red.
He'll have something to prove because he knows he doesn't have a future here.
Yeah.
He knows that. So,
he might be a guy you can sneak in some snaps. Like he was performing well in the red zone. So he's another guy that they might can sneak in some little plays here and there. But I think that we have the running back room set. It's Pacheco. It's McKinnon, unless there's an injury.
I like Ronald Jones too. Like Shane was been championing all year. I think Rojo.
If we don't see this Saturday, or I know we're going to break down the game, if we don't see Ronald Jones get more than one carry against Saturday, then I don't know why you have him, because like I said, it's going to be 0 degrees, man. You're going to have to freaking run the football with a lot of different players.
Yeah.
How about some Melvin Gordon action, huh?
Ooh.
No.
Against the old
Check
rivals.
Enough. We don't need another one.
If you want to keep the turnover train going, yes.
Yeah.
Our old friend.
Keep him away unless there's an injury. But other than that, it's good that we took him away from any other team signing him, because he could surprise you and hit you with 100 out of nowhere. But with the Chiefs now, let him kick back.
Well, make sure you're recording this, folks. I'm going to say something positive about McCole Hardman. I think he might be able to help in the short yard game, whether it's 3rd and 1, 4th and short, something with just some eye candy. Him and Tony motioning back and forth, and then you give it to Burton. Then you have Blake Bell come in and take a snap, or push Mahomes if we are going to do a quarterback sneak, something like that. So that's one thing I think McCole Hardman can help us in. But before we get into our Seahawks preview and predictions, we've got to go over the story of the year. You know what I'm talking about before I even say it, don't you? Yes, you do. Chiefsaholic.
Oh, God.
Oh, boy. He's found himself in some trouble. Everyone was trying to find his whereabouts. He was off Twitter for about 3 days. What happened? He wasn't at the game. I don't think he was even in Houston, didn't make some of the parties down there, the get-togethers, the Houston takeover that Chiefs fans were doing. What happened? Everyone was worried, throwing out search parties, researching, trying to find his name, his address. He robbed a bank in Bixby, Oklahoma, South Tulsa. It was a teacher's credit union, and looks like he could be gone for a while. Here you see him, pictures of him at Mahomes Gala, the Mahomes Foundation Gala, purchasing just kind of merchandise here, just a Mahomes photo in a frame. Wow. Worth probably thousands of dollars with dirty money. What is happening with this? What do we take of this? Shane, we know you have some history with this man. Take us through it.
He's a big Chiefs fan who did everything he could to obviously to go to every Chiefs game home and away. I never had an issue with him. He's huge on Twitter. He has a huge following. He would tell people, if you like this tweet, there's a chance I'll send you a jersey. And he was sending people Chiefs jerseys. He was at the 15 in the Mahomes event, and with a lot of the important people. And I don't know specifically how much he gave to charity, but as a person, maybe he made some questionable decisions. Maybe, but
allegedly,
everybody's innocent until proven guilty. And I know there's some people that it's easy to laugh at people that have fallen, but I want to take the high road. I know Fidel Blocker from Chiefs or Die, who saw him on the road, and he was always real nice to him. And it's not good to pile on somebody unless they have done harm to someone. And right now he hasn't done any harm to anybody. Is his character in question? Sure. Is
robbery? Someone could have PTSD from that. And
sure.
Yeah.
I don't want to. It's just me. I don't want to pile on the guy. I know he's been good to a lot of people in person. I just feel like when you pile on somebody that obviously had some things in the closet, it's just not a good thing. And I wish him the best. And everybody's innocent until proven guilty. There is some questions of how much money he gave to 15 of the Mahomes, and was it dirty money? But I'm not comfortable to pile on anybody. I mean, I'm not an angel, but I wasn't ever robbing banks or doing the things that he was doing. But it's sad. It really is. It's sad. What do you think, Brian?
Yeah, he needed Cleo and Jada Pinkett Smith from Set It Off to help him out with that. I don't know, man. I just I don't have nothing bad to say about the guy.
You did block out his name here. I know it can be found, but I'm not like Shane. I'm not going to go.
It's just an unfortunate set of circumstances, man. That we don't know this guy personally, or what he's going through, or who he has to provide for, or whatever. I know that armed robbery is something serious, and there's nothing to play with. I know that for sure. But I'll just leave it at that, man. I hope he gets the help he needs.
Well, yeah, he'll definitely be receiving that in probably a federal penitentiary. And let me tell you guys something else here. You want to talk about PTSD? Think about a grown man. I have PTSD thinking about a grown man dressed as a wolf walking into a bank that I'm just trying to cash my $78 check at from the job that I work in every day, doing on the regular. I don't have to exist on Twitter. I don't have to exist as some sort of super fan to feel good about myself. I mean, I have PTSD from just the mere thought of this guy walking in and robbing a bank that I'm trying to cash my check out. What the hell?
Yeah, and these are real tweets of his. Unfollow then, homie. Nobody is holding you at gunpoint. He would do that at some point to someone. Then just imagine me walking out of the bank last night.
That tweet was crazy. Me and him actually had some words back and forth, like positive things. Like, he was like showing love to some of the tweets I had talking to Chiefs. It's just crazy. It just lets you know you never know somebody until you really know them. And who knew that he was the Chiefs fans' version of Robin Hood, and he was giving back to everybody. If he was, robbing banks, which is crazy. But I see a message here. Caleb said the man lost $80,000 on the Chiefs not covering against the Bills and wasn't phased at all. How much money are in these banks that he's robbing? Isn't everything digital nowadays? Like, I didn't know that they still had clouds of money in the banks. And, he's playing real life Grand Theft Auto, man. So,
And we have some more tweets where he said he's playing with house money. We have it here. Where does this wolf get the money to bet $1,000 per game? Hope your taxes are in order. I make a good living. Plus I hustle private. House money I'm playing with, to be honest. Yeah, you could say that. Someone's got, the Netflix documentary Making a Murderer. Well, we have Making a Superfan here with Chiefsaholic. And after graduating KSU, where people have found out he didn't actually go to Kansas State in 2016, I was working a warehouse job making $12 an hour. Today, I manage multiple warehouses throughout the Midwest region, make an excellent living, and I'm only 28 years old. Not sure if that's true or not. Haven't heard any reports or if anybody found that out, but it wouldn't make a ton of sense because he's taking off to go to all these games and taking off like a Tuesday and going all the way through Sunday and having to travel back Monday, Tuesday. So when does he actually work if he does do that? Hard work pays off. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. And someone commented, bro tweeted this, then robbed a bank 3 days later. Not a good look. We also have this from DeKalb, Illinois. We're not sure if this is him or not. This was back in 2016. Police are searching for a man who robbed an Illinois bank while wearing a wolf mask on Friday. Oh, man.
That's clearly Wolfman. You can't be.
Bean said he wasn't going to laugh, and here he is laughing behind the screenshot. But
I can't. It's surreal. It's surreal.
It got Shawshank Redemption here.
It is surreal. I was shocked.
Instead of a poster of Rita Hayworth, he's got a poster of Mahomes. He's banging behind, trying to dig his way out. Then X Factor, the Spider-Man's pointing at each other, X Factor, and Chiefsaholic pointing at each other. Oh boy, it was just a story of the last few days here, the weekend, and taking over into this week. And when will it end? I don't know.
Yeah, this is like, oh, it's crazy. I really don't know what to say. I even tweeted, yo, Chiefsaholic, hey, let everybody know you're all right, man. And he couldn't because he was in jail. So this is a crazy story. But hey, y'all got to tell me.
I don't know if you go to TikTok and you go scroll through lives on TikTok. Sometimes you'll find guys just in prison on TikTok.
Wow.
So hey, I don't know why he couldn't have been.
So Red Extreme and X Factor, can y'all tell me what's up with those guys? I keep seeing names. I have no idea.
Don't even get into that.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
We'll let you know off air, Michael. We don't have enough show left.
Michael, watch the Pat McAfee clips from today. That's all in there.
Okay. I'm here in LA. I don't know anything about those.
Yeah, right before we get into
let's get the predictions.
Our Seahawks preview and prediction. This may be crazier than the whole Chiefsaholic story. A columnist in the Los Angeles Times on Justin Herbert's like witnessing a young Kobe Bryant, a fresh Mike Trout, a clean-shaven Clayton Kershaw, a cradle filled with greatness, the start of something enormous and enchanting, potentially the greatest young quarterback in NFL history, Justin Herbert, ladies and gentlemen.
Is that a Bible verse talking about our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ? Is that in Psalms somewhere that I freaking missed? What the hyperbole in that? Just I can't believe what I'm looking at here. This is on Michael. This is out there. Who was this? Was like Bill Plaschke or something? Who did this?
It might be. Now Bill is a little more realistic. It's some younger reporter, but no, I'll hear the talk, man. Everybody they look at him as like the guy. The thoughts are that if he was in any of those other situations that he will be unstoppable and will be even better than the Burrows and the Josh Allens and the Patrick Mahomes, which is crazy because he does have talent.
Everyone says every year this is the most talented team.
Yeah, he has talent, and I know injuries always kills them, but he's special. You can't deny how special he is.
He's got the talent. Does he have the intangibles and be able to close games? And I don't.
He doesn't have the coach. Period.
Yeah,
when they get Sean Payton next year, that Chargers team will be totally different. I hope that doesn't happen. But Sean Payton, if you look at what he's doing, he's in Los Angeles, and he wants a young quarterback.
You know who he is?
Baker Mayfield. Sean McVay retires and Sean Payton goes to the Rams.
No, he doesn't want anything to do with the Rams in that cap situation.
Hey,
Lord,
Brian.
no. Yes, sir.
You probably can agree with me. You know who he is? He's not a young Kobe. He's T-Mac.
Oh yeah, that's a good comparison. Yeah.
He's
Score all
T-Mac.
over the place, but never do nothing in the playoffs.
Well,
And he ain't even been to the playoffs.
Yeah, so until we see him in the playoffs, he's T-Mac to me. And he
ain't even T-Mac yet.
It trips me out that people just forget who Patrick Mahomes is. Like, he didn't come into the league his first year as a starter and did something that changed the whole entire game to where everybody else is now like working out and they're practicing the out of the pocket stuff like it's a part of the game because of Patrick Mahomes. It just lets you know Patrick Mahomes is to that Kobe Bryant level to where you just don't want to give him his credit for being how great he is. And you're always looking for that next thing to put over the top because the guy is just that guy. So shout out to Justin Herbert, what he's doing over here in LA. But Patrick Mahomes is the greatest young quarterback we've ever seen.
Shout out to Justin Herbert. Absolutely. Keep putting up those numbers and losing, my friend.
Justin Herbert is Gilbert Arenas.
I
There you go.
Okay.
I hate to run him down. I hate to.
Without the gun.
I was all about running down the Chargers, especially after the Chiefs won the second game against them this year. Then they proceeded to drop a game to the Raiders after that. But here they are, 8-6. They're going to be in the playoffs. Look at that schedule. They have a 79%, according to analytics, chance of getting in those playoffs. And like I talked about all the teams.
Does that
I'm scared
Chargers
of, they're one
factor
of
into that? Does the Chargers, like the fact that they can charger?
That's a
Does
whole
that
nother
factor into
level
that?
of analytic. That should be factored in. That's a whole
No,
other
Bills Mafia's in here.
Yay! Welcome to the party.
We'll be talking about you
Bills
guys here in a few weeks. I have a feeling. So
Once you lose to the Bengals, we'll give you a shout out.
wow. Well, I guess we should go ahead and predict. We have a Christmas Eve.
AFC West reunion.
Yes. Oh my God.
Yay.
The Seahawks, guys.
Bring it up.
We saw the Chiefs last week tied the Raiders, Broncos, and Chargers, 15 division titles. But let's not forget the Seattle Seahawks had 2 AFC West titles from their time in there, from like 1970, whatever, to 2001.
Do you see that?
76.
Do you see that sign behind Derek Thomas and that says Copeland watch? Me and Johnny Willoughby made it.
Hey.
It was in November 1990.
Wow.
He was the third string safety. He was really cool when I worked at the Blue Ridge Mall. So we made up a sign that said Copeland watch. It was really
wow.
good.
Hey, speaking of Blue
cool.
Ridge Mall.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Shaggy. I got to cut in on that, on the Blue Ridge Mall. You know, I played Santa Claus yesterday, and it's Christmas time, and Blue Ridge Mall was always a place that my mother took me to go see Santa Claus.
I love it.
Thank you for bringing that up.
There was a big Santa, wasn't he? Big beard. He was like 6'8", 6'5".
Yeah, absolutely. Man, it was, those were the days. The day it was Black Friday where we used to go. Yeah.
Cool. Did you ever get any Topsy's popcorn?
Oh, come on now. My wife from Cincinnati she lives by Topsy's. Her blood type is Topsy's with a large cherry limeade.
Well,
go ahead. We can sidetrack this.
Michael, you mentioned earlier one of your favorite movies, Any Given Sunday. We're going to change the name this week to Any Given Saturday, as the NFL has moved all but 3 games to Saturday here, or the vast majority.
Because Clint demanded it.
I'm still my sports organized brain is still having a hard time kind of dealing with this, because we have some great Christmas Day memories of Chiefs games, like Chiefs Broncos from I think 2016 and Chiefs Seahawks from 1995.
Chiefs Raiders 04.
Oh, Christmas Eve, buddy. That was was that Christmas Eve night or Christmas night? It was one of the two.
Yeah, it was one of the two.
And that was a comeback win for the Chiefs there last second. Lawrence Tynes field goal to beat the Raiders. But here we are. It is Saturday at noon, the Chiefs and Seahawks. The Seahawks come in. They're kind of going off of a cliff, guys, here at 7-7, still alive in the NFC playoff picture. They're coming in here. We've talked about the cold. We've talked about the wind chill. And I think we're going to see a different Chiefs team this Saturday than we've seen the last 2 weeks. I think we're going to see a motivated one. I think we're going to see one very focused and very businesslike. And I think they take care of the Seahawks. And I think it's something like 27-13. All of this, we know the Seahawks can score. Their defense is abysmal. I think the cold is going to negate some of that. And the Chiefs get a bit of a comfortable win here. I know that's outlandish.
What do you think, Mikhail?
Very outlandish. I think it's going to be 27-17. I wouldn't be surprised if it's 27-24. The Chiefs just like to make games exciting. They find ways to do so. But I do think they take care of business 27-17. The defense is going to make a few plays. And I think we might run the ball a little bit more with it being so cold, and we're going to punish somebody. I think Ronald Jones, he doesn't get one carry, Shane. He's going to get at least 3 carries and get some touches because they're going to run the ball. 27-17, Chiefs take care of business. I'm just hoping that we can get an interception in the secondary because we haven't got one in a while, and we need it. And I'm talking about a real one, not the quarterback getting hit and it falling into L'Jarius's lap. I'm talking about a DB making a nice play, and I think that happens this Saturday.
What do you think, Brian?
All right, yeah, I'll go. This is a good time to shout out and my Uncle Ronnie, RIP. He took me to my very first Chiefs game. It was January 2nd, 1994, or January 1st. Oh, January 2nd, 1994, against
Seattle.
the Seattle Seahawks. That's right. Where I saw you, Shane. I'm pretty sure you were there.
I was there.
That's where I saw Joe Montana live and in action. I was 8 years old, and the Chiefs were on a Super Bowl run. We didn't know that at the time, but they were. And Todd McNair, he got in the end zone. I saw Albert Lewis get a fumble recovery after a block punt. Yep, Shane, you know it. And so the Chiefs won that game 34-24. And that's the score I'm gonna go with. 34-24, Chiefs win.
That was a good memory. I sat with my girlfriend at the time that I married 10 months later. If Joe Pendry and Rich Baldinger were running this offense, the Chiefs would win by running the football as much as possible against the Seattle Seahawks this Saturday, and the Chiefs would win 17-10. But I feel Andy Reid wants Patrick Mahomes to get the MVP so much that when we'll get down inside the 5-yard line, it'll be 1st and goal at the 1. Andy Reid will call a couple of reverse flea flickers so Patrick Mahomes will throw a touchdown to Nick Allegretti so Patrick Mahomes can pad his touchdown stats. That's my biggest fear. I fear that the Chiefs will screw around offensively, and it'll come down to Tommy Townsend holding a field goal that will give the Chiefs a 3-point win, but he'll bobble the snap and into the game will end in a tie 10-10. There's my tie.
Wow. We got
no. No.
I had to. I predicted a tie, so I'm going to predict a tie. 10-10.
2020.
Is Kenneth Walker playing?
I think he is going to give it a go.
He is, yeah.
But if we run the football like we should in 1 degree or 0 degrees, the Chiefs will win by 10. But if Andy Reid comes out there and tries to do a whole bunch of passing in this weather, I love Patrick Mahomes. You know that I know that he's the greatest. The world knows he's the greatest. If we fool around in this weather with this Seahawks, it'll cost the Chiefs a tie. But if we go out there and just say we're going to run the football, we're going to line up an I formation, we're going to bring back Blake Bell in short yarded situations, we will win by 10, 20-10. But until I can believe Andy Reid won't screw around with making Patrick Mahomes throw touchdown passes because he wants him to have the MVP, I'm going to stick to a tie.
And maybe we need to make some shirts that we send to the 5 starting offensive linemen and the 2 backs to say run the damn ball. And
right.
Reid sees it. He sees the shirts enough. He's like, man, maybe they're right. Let me run this ball and we'll see what happens.
No. Andy would never do such a thing. That's crazy. That's blasphemous, Andy Reid. But I've got this one, a really close nip-tuck ball game. We talked about it, Kenneth Walker coming back. DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett are going to eat on these young corners. And so I've got it. The Chiefs squeaking out a win, throwing the ball all over yard, Shane. I know you don't want to hear it, but that's what it's going to be. 28-27, the Chiefs squeak one out against the Seahawks, who get 3 touchdowns of their own, a couple field goals. Chiefs try a field goal too, but they miss it, so they can't extend the lead because Harrison Butker is just having a nightmare of a season. It continues. He stays in the slump, but the Chiefs still get the win 28-27.
There you go.
I like it.
Merry Christmas.
Hey, we might see the behind the back pass, so be ready, guys. Magic Mahomes, baby.
Yeah, he was practicing that. We haven't seen it yet. He's got to pull that out sometime.
He's going to have to pull it out, so I'm hoping that he does it against
He's saving it for the Raiders the last game of the season.
Yeah, in Vegas. Oh, that would be magical, for real. That would be the greatest touchdown ever. But I hope we see McCole this weekend.
We will.
I think he has a big game.
And like I said before, this is the last thing I'll say, and I know we're going to bounce out of here. The Chiefs have yet to show any opposing NFL defenses what they look like with McCole Hardman and Kadarius Toney on the field at the exact same time. I would keep that in the back burner. I would not use it. I would save that for the playoffs, because if we are a second seed or a third seed, and we got to play multiple playoff teams on the road or what have you to go to the Super Bowl, I wouldn't show any NFL team what they look like together on the field at the same time, because that is a weapon. That is something that's Andy Reid's trump card, and I would not use that unless I needed to for the rest of this regular season. Save that for January.
Absolutely. And we want to thank everyone for watching. Thank all the comments that come in continuously.
Yes.
Absolutely. We thank you all. Just if you're watching here, wherever you're watching, on Brian's pages or Twitter, Shaggy Shane's YouTube, our Facebook, our Twitter, please retweet the show, like, share, subscribe, whatever you need to do. Follow us. Make sure that you're tapped in. Hit the notification bell on our YouTubes, whether you're on Starcade Media, Shaggy Shane, so you're notified every time we go live here with Arrowhead Allies. We wish you all a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays.
Hey.
We will see you next Tuesday after Christmas. Want to hear all the presents that everybody gets, maybe some Chiefs tickets.
Santa Claus.
And Brian singing, I think, is going to make us end the show early. So goodbye, everybody. Thank you. Go
Merry
Chiefs.
Christmas.
Cheers.